In the shadow of high mountains, surrounded by whispering winds and the songs of birds, lived a young man named Ayan. He was only 25, but his mind was already heavy with burdens. Ayan was intelligent, hard-working, and full of dreams, yet he could never find peace. His thoughts never stopped. They rushed in like an endless storm, memories of mistakes from the past, regrets of things he wished he had done differently, and fears of what tomorrow might bring. At night, he tossed and turned in bed. Even in his sleep, worries haunted him. During the day, his face carried the weight of sadness. He had forgotten how to laugh freely. Even the beauty of the mountains around him felt like nothing, because his restless mind would not let him enjoy the moment. One evening, after another sleepless night, Ayan sat by a river, watching the water flow. He whispered to himself, "Why can't I find peace? Why is my mind my enemy?" It was then he remembered hearing a story from travelers. They spoke of an old wise man who lived in a quiet village hidden deep in the hills. This man, they said, had once been a great teacher of the mind. People claimed he could help anyone find peace, no matter how troubled they were. Ayan felt a spark of hope. Maybe, he thought, this old man can help me quiet my storm. The next morning, he packed a small bag and began his journey. The path was long and tiring. He climbed steep trails, crossed small streams, and walked for days under the hot sun and the cold night sky. But something inside him pushed him forward, the hope of peace. Finally, one afternoon, Ayan reached the quiet village. It was a place where time seemed to move slowly. Children played freely, farmers worked calmly in the fields, and the sound of birds filled the air. At the edge of the village stood a small wooden house covered in vines and flowers. On its porch, sitting cross-legged, was the old man everyone had spoken of. His eyes were closed, his face calm, as if he carried no worries at all. Ayan walked closer and said softly, "Grandfather, my mind is restless. I cannot stop my thoughts. I live in the past and fear the future. I am tired. Can you help me find peace?" The old man slowly opened his eyes. They were gentle but powerful, like they could see straight into Ayan's heart. He smiled faintly and said, "So, you seek peace? Then you must learn a lesson." He stood up, picked up a glass, and filled it with water until it was brimming full. Not a single drop more could fit. Handing it to Ayan, "Walk from here to the far end of the village and return to me. But remember, not a single drop of water must fall." Ayan was surprised, but he nodded. Carefully, he took the glass in his hands. With slow steps, he began walking. The road was lively. Children laughed as they played games. Farmers called out to one another. Dogs barked. Women chatted at the wells, but Ayan did not look at any of them. His eyes were fixed on the glass, his body steady, his hands trembling slightly. Every step was careful. Every breath was slow. He forgot everything else, his past, even his worries. At last, he reached the edge of the village, turned, and slowly walked back. When he reached the old man, the glass was still full. Not a single drop had fallen. Ayan smiled with relief. "Grandfather, I did it. I did not spill the water." The old man looked at him calmly and asked, "Good, but tell me, did you see the children laughing? Did you hear the dogs barking? Did you notice the beauty of the village?" Ayan shook his head. "No, I noticed nothing. I was only focused on the glass." The old man's eyes sparkled. "That is the secret. When you focused only on the glass, your mind became still. You were not thinking about yesterday. You were not worrying about tomorrow. You were fully in this moment." He continued, "This is the key to peace, my son. A quiet mind is a strong mind. When you train your mind to stay in the present, fear disappears, regret fades, and peace enters. The storm inside you calms, and in that calmness, you discover your strength." Ayan's eyes widened. For the first time in years, he felt a deep silence inside him. Not empty, he understood. Peace was not something he had to search for outside. It was already within him, waiting for him to quiet his thoughts. He bowed his head in gratitude. "Grandfather, I understand now. If I want peace, I must keep my mind in the present. That is where my true strength lies." The old man smiled and said gently, "Remember this lesson every day. When your mind runs to the past, bring it back. When it runs to the future, hold it still. Strength is born in stillness. As the sun set behind the mountains, Ayan left the old man's home. But he was not the same restless young man anymore. His steps were light, his heart calm. For the first time, he noticed the beauty of the hills, the golden glow of the sun, the sound of the river, the laughter of children. He had found his strength by quieting his mind. And so, dear listener, remember this. Your mind can be your greatest enemy or your greatest strength. When it is filled with noise, it weakens you. But when you quiet it, you unlock peace, clarity, and power. Live in the present moment. That is where life truly happens. That is where peace lives. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hill Wisdom for more inspiring stories. Till we meet again, stay strong, stay calm, and keep your mind quiet.